So you're a proud boat owner. It's been said that boat ownership is a lot like marriage. There's always early intoxicating love that brings you together. There'll be moments of pure joy and moments of anger and frustration. And also like a marriage, you may have your boat forever, but in modern marriages, there's a very good chance that you and your boat one day will have to part ways. So what happens to your boat if you're going through a divorce? That's the topic of today's video. Hi, I'm Sean Palmer with the Palmer Law Firm, and I've been practicing law in the great state of Texas for the last 20 years, exclusively in the area of family and divorce law. My office is located in close proximity to Clear Lake, which is considered by many to be the boating capital of Texas. Besides being a beautiful water destination of itself, Clear Lake is a gateway to Galveston Bay and ultimately the Gulf of Mexico. Many people in the area own boats, and as a result, I've had many boat owners coming into my office who are involved in a divorce, asking me what will happen to the boat. Assuming your boat was purchased during the marriage, and also assuming you're trying to come up with a settlement plan for the division of your community estate, then you have three basic options. Option one, sell the boat. The most common way to address a boat in the lead up to a divorce is to sell the boat and then split the proceeds with your soon-to-be ex-spouse. But this option presents some challenges. Not only must you find a willing buyer, but you also likely must accept the depreciated value for the vessel. As such, your boat may be worth more to you than its sale price suggests. Option two, keep the boat. If you love your boat, you may not want anyone else to own it, but you really have to be honest with yourself and determine if continued boat ownership is financially feasible, especially since after the divorce, you'll only have your own income to rely on. Things you have to consider are, where will you keep the boat? If you currently own your own dock, will you have that particular piece of real estate after the divorce? And if not, marinas are an option, but they're expensive, though they are convenient. A mooring is is another option, and it's less expensive, but also kind of inconvenient. And a trailer is generally the cheapest option, but the most inconvenient. Another thing to consider is maintenance and repair. They got to be considered, and they're not cheap, especially in saltwater. What about the cost of winter storage or prepping for the boating season? Then there's the budget for fuel, insurance, food, and yes, beer. You'll also want to consider whether you're really going to use the boat as much now that you're no longer married. After the divorce, what family and friends will regularly join you on your trips? After divorce, will you be experiencing any changes in the demands of your own time that'll leave less time for boating, such as now having to transport your children, or you having to work overtime, or you're now just living further away from your boat? If after careful consideration and a little spreadsheet calculation, you decide that you would have the ability to keep your boat after divorce, then you have to decide how you plan to buy out your spouse's interest in the boat. You likely will have to come up with enough cash to buy out your spouse's ownership interest. Basically, you'll have to buy your own boat back with the remaining portion of the community estate. If you own other items of significant value that you're willing to part with and your spouse wants, you may be able to exchange your interest in those to compensate for the value of the boat. Either way, your boat will have to be valued. Unless your spouse agrees the amount, you'll have to determine the objective value. Your spouse will want to value the boat at its greatest possible amount, while you're going to want to value it at its lowest depreciated value. Valuing boats in a volatile market and in an uncertain economy can be difficult and may require the service of a professional appraiser. Option three, share the boat. Even though your marriage is coming to an end, you may be on good terms with your spouse. If both you and your partner want to continue using the boat, you can possibly come up with a usage schedule. Doing so, though, requires addressing some significant matters. For example, you need to determine who's responsible for paying and upkeep and for maintenance on the vessel, and you're going to need to carefully draft the terms of your co-ownership in your divorce decree. If your divorce involves difficult assets like boats, then you should be sure you consult with an experienced divorce attorney who understands how to characterize and value such assets and to counsel you on various outcomes of any options that you choose. I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thanks for watching. I'm Sean Palmer with the Palmer Law Firm, where we can't protect your heart, but we can protect your rights.